How do you know when you've just had enough and it's time to ditch them? What we're talking about is, when do you get rid of your dental hygiene instruments? Like, how long have you used them? What parameters do you use to get rid of them? And we're going to talk about that. It's Coffee with Deb, except it's Thursday night after a long week and I'm about to go on vacation. So now it's Wine with Deb. So what we're going to talk about is a couple of ideas that DH Cubed has regarding when do you ditch those instruments. And then also, I would love to hear from you. You can direct message me about when you ditch your instruments. What parameters do you use? So at any rate, let me set my glass of wine down. One of the parameters we use with DH Cubed is when you've sharpened the instrument, or someone else has sharpened the instrument, a universal or a Gracie curette, and now you've turned them into a sickle. Essentially, you want to get rid of that instrument. It's improperly shaped, and then guess what? Your hand and your action has to go out of a normal position to get that instrument to adapt, and now you're working, possibly injuring yourself. So ditch this instrument, get rid of it, and start over. And then learn how to sharpen them correctly. You can watch our videos on YouTube and on dhcube.com on how to sharpen all your instruments correctly. Little punchline there. But the other way to assess, let's say your instrument's getting too narrow, and it's getting too narrow, like from the lateral surface to the lateral surface, the face is now getting really narrow. How do you know when to ditch that instrument? And so what we do at DH Cube, we teach you how to use what's called the flex test. And what you do is you're going to apply pressure on a hard surface like a countertop, press that instrument down, and we're going to show you a video right now. It's not always easy to determine when to discard an instrument. This has always been a difficult question to answer because we all love our thinner instruments. So if the instrument flexes at all by pressing it against a hard surface, like the countertop, discard it. If it flexes at all during sharpening, discard it. And if it flexes while scaling, definitely discard it. You do not want to risk the tip breaking off in the sulcus during use. So you saw that the hygienist was pushing down on that instrument on the countertop, and the instrument started to flex, and then it broke. That's the worst case scenario. You never want that to happen, especially in a sulcus or in a pocket. I've had it happen a few times. It's actually very scary. You now have to go retrieve that tip, not knowing where it went, not knowing where it is. So doing a flex test on a countertop is the safest place to decide time to ditch that instrument. If that instrument is flexing at all while you're pressing lateral pressure, putting lateral pressure against it on a tooth, get rid of that instrument. If it's flexing at all while you're sharpening it and you're putting pressure, lateral pressure with a stone on the instrument, and it's flexing a little bit, get rid of that instrument. I know it's really hard to make that decision because we love our instruments when they're nice and thin and they can get into every little surface, but you don't want to run the risk of an instrument breaking in the pocket. So that's our topic for today. And another thing I wanted to let you know is we are running our special again, where you can get $55 off of our cube. And so it normally is $250. We're running a special for $195. You can go to dhcubed.com and enter Get Sharp, and you'll get $55 off your cube. So have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next week. I'm going to be on vacation, so more than likely I'm going to be shooting video or pictures or selfies with my sister and the France of Washington called Walla Walla. Look forward to seeing you and hearing from you. Please direct message me, and I'd love to answer your questions. Have a great week.